The stars shimmered against the blackness of space as Commander Jack Harper stood on the bridge of the U.S. Defiant. The experimental ship hummed quietly around him, its systems running smoothly despite being filled with technology that barely existed 6 months ago. Jack ran his hand through his short brown hair and stared at the main screen. The colony of New Haven appeared peaceful from orbit. Green fields, blue lakes, and the white dots of buildings scattered across the surface. "Sir, we're picking up unusual readings at the edge of the system," said Linda Powell, not looking up from her science station. Her fingers moved quickly across the controls as she frowned. Multiple objects dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Too many to count. Jack walked over to her station. "Natural phenomenon." "No, sir. These are ships. Big ones." Linda pushed her glasses up her nose. "Nothing like I've ever seen before." The bridge fell silent as the crew processed her words. Everyone knew what this meant. For decades, humanity had wondered if they were alone in the universe. 3 years ago, they got their answer when they made contact with the peaceful Arcturians. Trade agreements followed. Cultural exchanges began. The galaxy seemed friendly. Until now. "Alert Earth Defense Command," Jack ordered, and put the ships on screen. The main view changed to show the edge of the solar system. What appeared were not ships in the traditional sense. They looked more like massive black crystals, their surfaces reflecting no light. They moved in perfect formation, hundreds of them. "Those don't look Arcturian," said Alan Rodriguez from the engineering station. The chief engineer's normally calm voice held a note of worry. "They're not," Linda confirmed. "Unknown design, unknown materials, unknown propulsion." The communications console beeped. Olivia Martinez, the communications specialist, looked up with wide eyes. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. It's directed at everyone. Every frequency, every channel." On speakers, Jack said, his stomach tight with anticipation. A voice filled the bridge. It wasn't human. Too perfect, too precise, with an odd harmonic quality that made the hair on Jack's arms stand up. "Attention, beings of the third planet. We are the Zereth Dominion. Your existence has been noted. Your technology has been analyzed. Your military capability has been assessed. You will surrender your autonomy and join our collective. Resistance is unnecessary. Compliance is inevitable." The message repeated once, then silence fell. "Sir," Olivia said after a moment, "Earth Defense Command is requesting we maintain position and observe only." Jack nodded. "Acknowledge the order." "The alien fleet has stopped moving," Linda reported. "They're just waiting." "For what?" Jack wondered aloud. His question was answered moments later when a smaller crystal ship broke formation and moved toward New Haven. Jack watched, helpless under his orders, as the ship positioned itself above the colony. "Sir, we're picking up energy readings from the alien vessel," Linda said urgently. "Massive power buildup." "Hail them," Jack ordered. "Tell them New Haven is a civilian colony." No response. Olivia said, her voice tight. A beam of intense purple light shot from the alien ship to the planet's surface. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the readings on Linda's console went wild. It's breaking down molecular bonds," she said in horror. "It's unraveling the very structure off." The view on the main screen flashed brightly. When it cleared, where New Haven had been was now just a perfectly circular crater, glowing red at the edges. 40,000 colonists. Gone in seconds. "My God," someone whispered. The alien voice returned to their speakers. "This demonstration was necessary. Your species will now understand the cost of resistance. You have 48 of your hours to surrender your world. After that, we will begin systematic reduction. Olivia, send everything we've recorded to Earth," Jack said, his voice steady despite the rage and fear building inside him. "Linda, I want every scrap of data on that weapon. Alan, I need to know if our experimental drive gives us any advantage these things might not expect." "What are we going to do, sir?" Kevin Wallace asked from the security station. Jack looked back at the screen, where the alien fleet hung in space like a promise of extinction. "We're going to find a way to fight back," he said. "Because if that's what they do as a greeting, I don't want to see what surrender looks like." Alarms blared throughout the U.S. Defiant as Jack gripped his command chair. The ship shook violently as another energy blast passed dangerously close to their hull. "Evasive pattern Delta," Jack shouted over the noise. "Alan, what's the status on our shields?" Chief Engineer Alan Rodriguez's voice came through the intercom, strained but steady. "Down to 30%, sir. One direct hit, and we're finished." Around them, the battle for Earth's outer defense line was going badly. The view screen showed 5 Earth vessels already drifting, dead in space. The Dominion ships moved with impossible precision, their black crystal forms untouched by human weapons. "Linda, anything on their weak points?" Jack asked, watching another Earth cruiser explode in a ball of flame. Science Officer Linda Powell shook her head, her face illuminated by the glow of her console. "Their hull material absorbs our energy weapons. Missiles can't get close enough before they're destroyed." A massive explosion rocked the ship, throwing crew members to the floor. Kevin Wallace pulled himself back to the security station. "That was the Jupiter station. Sir, it's gone. Earth Defense Command is ordering all ships to fall back to Mars orbit." Olivia Martinez reported from communications. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice remained professional. Jack made a quick decision. "We're not falling back with the others." "Sir?" Kevin questioned. "Olivia, acknowledge the order but don't comply." "Linda, remember that power fluctuation you detected in our drive during the test runs last month? The one that created the strange quantum readings." Linda's eyes widened with understanding. "Yes, the quantum displacement effect. We never fully understood it." "Alan," Jack called over the intercom, "can you deliberately trigger that effect in our drive?" There was a pause. "It's not designed for that, sir. It could tear the ship apart. Or it might save us. Do it." The crew exchanged nervous glances as Alan's voice came back. "Initiating quantum displacement in 3, 2, 1. The lights on the bridge dimmed. A strange humming filled the air, vibrating through their bones. The ship seemed to shimmer around them, like a mirage in the desert. "What's happening?" Kevin asked, looking at his hands as they appeared to blur slightly before his eyes. Linda checked her readings. "We're still here, but not quite in the same reality. We shifted slightly out of phase with normal spacetime." "The Dominion ships," Jack said, gesturing to the screen. "Are they tracking us?" Olivia listened intently to her earpiece. "No, sir. Their communications indicate they've lost us. They think we've been destroyed." As they watched, a Dominion vessel passed directly through their position, not registering their presence. The crew held their breath, but there was no impact. "We're invisible to them," Linda whispered, excitement building in her voice. "The quantum displacement field has shifted us just enough out of phase that their sensors can't detect us." Jack leaned forward. "Can we still see what's happening in normal space?" "Yes, sir. We can observe without being observed." Alan's voice came through the intercom again. "Commander, I can maintain this field for maybe 12 hours before the drive burns out completely." "What about weapons?" Kevin asked. "Can we fire while displaced?" Linda shook her head. "I don't think so. Any energy discharge would likely collapse the field." Jack stood up and paced the bridge, thinking quickly. "So we can't fight, but we can watch. We can learn." "Sir," Olivia interrupted, "Earth Defense Command reports that all remaining human ships are falling back to Mars. The Dominion fleet is pushing forward, but slowly, methodically." Jack nodded. "They're in no hurry. They know they've won the first round." "What are your orders, sir?" Kevin asked. Jack looked at each of his crew members. They were scared but determined, waiting for his decision. "We're not retreating to Mars," he said finally. "The Defiant is going in the opposite direction, straight into Dominion territory." Sir, Olivia questioned, uncertain she'd heard correctly. They think we're destroyed. That gives us an advantage no other human ship has. We're going to use this quantum displacement field to slip behind enemy lines and find their weakness. Jack's eyes hardened. Earth has 48 hours before the Dominion begins their systematic reduction. We have less than 12 hours of displacement capability, so we need to make them count. The bridge was silent as everyone absorbed his words. Then Linda spoke, her voice quiet but firm. If there's a way to stop them, sir, we'll find it. Jack nodded, hoping desperately that she was right. Plot a course directly through the Dominion fleet. We're going hunting. The U.S. Defiant drifted silently through the heart of the Dominion fleet. Jack stood at the observation window, watching the massive crystal ships move around them like sharks in dark water. The quantum displacement field held steady, rendering the Defiant invisible to the enemy. 8 hours had passed since they activated it. 4 hours remained. Commander, you need to see this, Linda called from her station. Her voice was tight with urgency. Jack joined her at the science console where a display showed a small blue-green planet. What am I looking at? The Vashi homeworld, Linda explained. According to data we intercepted, they're an advanced civilization in the next system. The Dominion is approaching their planet now. Olivia turned from her communication station. I've been monitoring their transmissions. The Dominion sent the same surrender message to them that they sent to us. Let's get closer, Jack ordered. Alan, can we maintain the displacement field at higher speeds? As long as we stay below warp 2, we should be fine. Alan's voice replied. Any faster, and the field becomes unstable. The Defiant accelerated carefully toward the Vashi planet. As they approached, they saw a fleet of sleek silver ships in orbit, the Vashi Defense Force. Their technology looks impressive, Kevin noted from the security station. More advanced than ours. Let's hope they put up a better fight than we did, Jack said. But to their shock, as the Dominion fleet approached, the Vashi ships powered down their weapon systems. A transmission played across the bridge speakers, translated automatically by their computers. Attention Zereth Dominion. We, the Vashi Consensus, accept your terms of surrender. We will join your collective as requested. Please proceed with integration. The crew of the Defiant watched in stunned silence as the Dominion ships surrounded the Vashi vessels. Small drones detached from the crystal ships and attached to the Vashi craft. What are they doing? Jack asked. Linda adjusted her sensors. The drones are interfacing with the Vashi ships. I'm detecting a massive data transfer. She paused, studying the readings. It's like they're uploading something into the Vashi systems. And the Vashi are just letting this happen, Kevin said in disbelief. They're scared, Olivia said quietly. They must have seen what happened to other worlds that resisted. Alan's voice came through the intercom. Commander, I've been analyzing the Dominion ships while we've been drifting here. There's something odd about them. What is it? Jack asked. They're all connected somehow. Quantum entanglement on a massive scale. Every ship in the fleet seems linked to every other ship. They share information instantly. Linda's eyes widened. That explains their perfect coordination in battle. They function as a single organism rather than individual vessels. Jack paced the bridge, thinking, can we use that against them somehow, if they're all connected? Sir, Olivia interrupted. I'm picking up a weak transmission. Not Dominion, not Vashi. It's coming from a small moon in this system. Put it through, Jack ordered. A scratchy voice spoke in an alien language. The computer struggled to translate. Survivors seeking assistance, resistance against Dominion. Any who hear this. Can you clean that up? Jack asked. Olivia worked her console. Trying, sir. I think it's heavily encrypted. Designed to avoid Dominion detection. We should investigate, Linda suggested, if there's a resistance movement. Jack nodded. Plot a course to the moon. But maintain extreme caution. We can't risk detection. As the Defiant changed course, Alan reported in. "Sir, I've modified our sensors to get better readings on Dominion technology. You won't believe what I'm seeing." "Tell me," Jack said. "Their ships aren't just machines. They're partly biological. And the central control system appears to be a network of, well, the closest analogy would be artificial brains." Linda's face paled. "Are you saying the ships themselves are alive?" "Not exactly," Alan replied. "But they're using biological components harvested from somewhere, or someone." A heavy silence fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. Jack looked out at the crystal ships surrounding the Vashi fleet. "We need to find that resistance," he said finally. 3 hours of displacement left. Let's make them count." The Defiant moved quietly away from the Vashi planet, heading toward the small moon and the mysterious signal that offered a faint glimmer of hope. The small gray moon hung in space, its cratered surface showing no signs of life. The Defiant approached cautiously, scanners searching for the source of the mysterious transmission. There, Linda pointed to a reading on her screen. A small outpost hidden in that crater. Very faint power signature. They're masking it well. "Any life signs?" Jack asked. Linda nodded. "Several dozen. Not human. Not Dominion either." "Olivia, can you hail them without revealing our position to the Dominion?" Jack asked. Olivia worked her console. "I think so. I can use their own encryption method to bounce a signal back to them. It should look like feedback on their own systems." "Do it," Jack ordered. After a tense minute, a reply came through. A face appeared on screen, blue-skinned with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. The alien spoke, the ship's computer translating. "Unknown vessel, you receive our signal. Are you free of Dominion control?" "We are," Jack replied. "I'm Commander Jack Harper of the Earth ship Defiant. We're hiding from the Dominion using a technology that makes us temporarily invisible to them." The alien's upper eyes widened. "Impossible. None can hide from the Dominion." "Yet here we are," Jack said. "We need information. The Dominion is attacking our world. We have little time." The alien studied them. "I am Krell, last scientist of the Vashi resistance. If you truly have such technology, you must come here immediately. Bring your ship into the crater. Hurry." The screen went dark. Kevin frowned from his security station. "Could be a trap. Our displacement field is down to just over 2 hours." Alan reported through the intercom. "If we're going to learn anything useful, we need to risk it." Jack nodded. "Take us in." Slowly, the Defiant descended to the moon's surface, settling into the deep crater. A hidden door in the crater wall slid open, revealing a small docking bay. They guided the ship inside, and the door closed behind them. "Atmosphere is breathable," Linda confirmed as they powered down to conserve the displacement field. Jack selected a small team, himself, Linda, and Kevin, to meet with Krell. They exited through the airlock to find several armed Vashi waiting for them. Krell stepped forward. "Forgive the weapons," he said. "We trust no one now." "Understandable," Jack replied. "We don't have much time. Our hiding technology will fail in 2 hours." Krell led them through dark tunnels to a room filled with screens and equipment. Other Voshi worked there, monitoring signals. "This is all that remains of Free Voshi," Krell explained. 53 of us who escaped before surrender." "Why did your people give up without a fight?" Kevin asked. Krell's 4 eyes blinked sadly. "The Dominion sent us images of worlds that resisted, then offered peace to worlds that surrendered. Our leaders chose surrender." "What happens to those who surrender?" Linda asked. Krell touched a screen, showing images that made them gasp. Vashi connected to machines, tubes running into their bodies. Their eyes vacant. "They keep our bodies alive, but take our minds," Krell said. "Each Dominion ship contains thousands of connected brains, harvested from conquered species. The network uses our own intelligence against us." "That's how they process information so quickly," Linda realized. They're using organic neural networks, actual brains, linked together. And this happens to everyone? Jack asked, horror in his voice. Most are processed. Some are kept as workers. None remain truly alive as themselves. Linda studied the data on Krell's screens. The quantum connection between ships. It must have limitations. No system is perfect. Krell nodded. We'd noticed brief moments when the connection weakens, when they encounter new situations. All ships must recalibrate their network. A tiny delay occurs. Linda's eyes lit up. That's it. When they face something new, the network has a synchronization gap. How does that help us? Kevin asked. Linda turned to Jack. Commander, I think I see a way to use our quantum displacement drive. Instead of hiding us, what if we modified it to disrupt their network? Create a cascading failure in their synchronization. Krell looked at her with wonder. You could do this. Maybe, Linda said. But we'd need more data on exactly how their network functions. A young Voshi ran into the room, speaking urgently to Krell. Dominion patrol ships are approaching the moon. Krell translated. They do not detect us yet, but they're searching the area. We need to leave, Jack said. Krell, do you have data we can take? Anything that might help us understand their network better? Krell quickly downloaded information to a small device and handed it to Linda. This contains everything we've learned. It will not be enough, but perhaps. Alarms sounded throughout the base. Krell looked up in fear. They're scanning the crater. You must go now. As they rushed back to the Defiant, Jack made a decision. We're taking Krell with us. Sir, Kevin questioned. We need his knowledge, and we're not leaving him to die. Krell hesitated only briefly before joining them on their run back to the ship. The Defiant shuddered as it broke free from the moon's gravity. Jack gripped his chair as Alan pushed the engines hard, racing away from the Dominion patrol ships that had begun to scan the crater they just left. Displacement field holding steady, Alan reported. 1 hour and 40 minutes remaining. Did they detect us? Jack asked. Olivia shook her head. No sign of pursuit. I think we got away clean. In the corner of the bridge, Krell stood watching the crew work, his 4 eyes blinking in wonder. Your vessel truly is invisible to them. Remarkable. Linda was already working with the data Krell had provided, her fingers moving rapidly across her console. This confirms what we suspected. The quantum network linking the Dominion ships has microsecond delays when processing new information. How can we use that? Jack asked. I think we can modify our displacement drive to create a disruption pulse, Linda explained. Instead of shifting us out of phase, we could direct that energy outward, forcing their network to constantly try to resynchronize. Krell moved to her side, studying her calculations. Yes, but the effect would be temporary and limited to ships within close range. We don't need to disable their entire fleet, Jack said. Just enough to test if it works. Alan's voice came through the intercom. Commander, if we try this, we'll burn out the displacement field completely. We won't be able to hide anymore. Understood, Jack replied. But if it works, we might not need to hide. Kevin looked up from tactical. Sir, there's a small Dominion outpost on the far side of this system. Just 3 ships guarding the communication relay. We could test our weapon there. Jack nodded. Set course. Maximum speed without destabilizing the field. As the Defiant moved toward the outpost, Linda and Krell worked together to modify the ship's systems. They spoke in quick, technical terms that the rest of the crew struggled to follow. The pulse needs to be precisely calibrated to match the frequency of their quantum network, Linda explained to Jack when he checked their progress. Too strong, and it might alert other Dominion ships. Too weak, and it won't disrupt anything. How much longer? Jack asked. 20 minutes, she replied. But I can't guarantee it will work. Jack placed a hand on her shoulder. Do your best. It's more than we had yesterday. The Defiant approached the Dominion outpost carefully. 3 crystal ships orbited a small space station, unaware of the human vessel moving toward them. "In position," Kevin reported. "We're within range, but still undetected. All hands, secure for possible combat," Jack ordered. "Linda, are you ready?" Linda nodded from her station, where Krell stood beside her. "Ready, sir. Disruption pulse configured. But we'll have only one shot before the displacement field collapses." "Everyone understand what's at stake here?" Jack looked around at his crew. "If this works, we have a weapon to use against the Dominion. If it fails, we'll be visible and vulnerable." The bridge was silent for a moment. Then Olivia spoke up. "For Earth, sir, and for all the species they've already taken." Jack nodded. "Alan, divert all power to the modified displacement drive. Fire the pulse on my mark." He took a deep breath. 3, 2, 1, mark. The ship vibrated violently as energy surged through its systems. The lights flickered and alarms blared. On screen, they watched as an invisible wave spread out from the Defiant toward the Dominion ships. For a terrible moment, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the crystal ships began to drift out of formation. Their perfect coordination faltered. "It's working," Linda exclaimed. "Their quantum network is destabilizing." But what happened next shocked everyone. The Dominion ships didn't just lose coordination. They began to emit distress signals. Strange, garbled transmissions filled their communications. "What are we hearing?" Jack asked. Olivia listened intently. It sounds like voices. Thousands of voices, all speaking at once." Krell stepped forward, his blue face paling to almost white. "The harvested minds. You've temporarily freed them from the network's control. Can you understand what they're saying?" Jack asked. Krell nodded slowly. "They're begging for help. For release. They're still conscious in there, trapped but aware." The bridge fell silent as the horrifying truth sank in. The Dominion wasn't just using the brains of conquered species as processors. Those beings were still conscious, imprisoned within the ships. As they watched, the effect began to fade. The Dominion ships slowly regained their coordination, the voices fading away. "The disruption is temporary," Linda confirmed. "But it worked better than we expected." "And now we have a weapon," Jack said quietly. "A way to fight back." Suddenly, Olivia's console beeped urgently. "Commander, emergency transmission from Earth. The Dominion has launched their attack early. The final assault has begun." The Defiant streaked through space at maximum warp, its engines glowing hot with strain. The displacement field was gone now, burned out after the successful test of their new weapon. They were visible to any Dominion ship they might encounter, but Jack had ordered full speed ahead anyway. Earth couldn't wait. Engine temperature critical. Alan warned through the intercom. "We're pushing way beyond safety limits." "How long can they hold?" Jack asked, his face tense with worry. "Maybe 4 hours at this speed. After that, we risk a core breach." Jack nodded grimly. "Earth is 5 hours away at our current speed. We'll have to risk it." Linda and Krell worked frantically at the science station, trying to improve their disruption weapon. The test had shown it could work, but the effect had been limited in both range and duration. "If we channel the pulse through the main deflector dish," Linda suggested, "we could increase the range significantly." Krell's 4 eyes blinked rapidly as he calculated. "Yes, but the power requirements would be enormous. You would need to divert energy from life support systems." "We'll do what we have to," Jack said, joining them. "How's it coming?" Linda looked up, exhaustion clear on her face. "The good news is we can amplify the disruptive effect to cover a much larger area. The bad news is we'll only get one shot. After that, the system will burn out completely." "One shot," Jack repeated. He stared at the tactical display showing their course to Earth. "Then we need to make it count." Olivia turned from her communication station. "Commander, I've managed to establish contact with Earth Defense Command. The signal is weak, but it's there." Put it through, Jack ordered. The view screen flickered, showing a smoke-filled command center. An older officer appeared, his uniform torn and dirty. "This is Admiral Winters. Defiant, is that really you? We thought you were destroyed." "We're very much alive, Admiral," Jack replied. "And we found a potential weakness in the Dominion fleet. What's your status?" The Admiral's face was grim. "Bad. They hit us 12 hours before their deadline. Mars' defense line is gone. Earth's orbital platforms are down. We have scattered resistance on the ground, but major cities are already under occupation. They're landing processor ships in populated areas." He paused, his voice dropping. "We've seen what happens to the civilians they take." Jack felt sick, remembering the voices they'd heard during their test. "Admiral, we've developed a weapon that might disrupt their network. We need to know where to deploy it for maximum effect." The signal wavered as an explosion sounded in the background. The Admiral shouted orders to someone off-screen before turning back. "Their command ship arrived 6 hours ago, twice the size of the others. It's coordinating the ground invasion from high orbit over North America. If you're going to hit them, that's your target." "Understood," Jack said. "We'll be there in less than 5 hours. Hold on as long as you can." "We'll try," the Admiral replied before the signal cut out. Kevin looked up from his security station. "Sir, I'm detecting a Dominion patrol ship ahead. They're directly in our path." "Can we go around them?" Jack asked. "Not without adding another hour to our journey time," Kevin replied. Jack made a quick decision. "Weapons online. We're going through them." The crew tensed as the Defiant rushed toward the lone Dominion ship. The crystal vessel turned to intercept them, its weapons powering up. "They've detected us," Kevin reported. "Energy weapons charging. Evasive pattern Alpha," Jack ordered. "Fire everything we've got." The Defiant twisted in space, barely avoiding the purple energy beam fired by the Dominion ship. Their own weapons blazed in response, having little visible effect on the crystal hull. "Direct hit," Kevin said, "but minimal damage to their structure." The ship rocked violently as a glancing blow from the Dominion weapons struck their shields. "Shields down to 40%, Alan called out. Jack gripped his chair. "All power to forward weapons. Target their central section. That's where Krell said the control systems are located." The Defiant fired again, this time concentrating all power on a single spot on the Dominion vessel. For a moment, the crystal structure cracked, showing vulnerability. "Again," Jack ordered. "Same spot." The weapons fired once more, and this time a substantial piece of the crystal hull broke away. The Dominion ship listed to one side, its weapons powering down. "We did it," Olivia said in disbelief. "Stay on course for Earth," Jack ordered, "and prepare for a lot more resistance when we get there." As they left the damaged Dominion ship behind, Linda looked up from her work with Krell. "Commander, I think we've figured out how to modify the disruption pulse. But there's something you should know." "What is it?" Jack asked. Linda exchanged a glance with Krell. "If we succeed in disrupting the command ship, we won't just disable the Dominion fleet. We might free all the minds trapped inside. Billions of consciousnesses suddenly released at once." "Is that a problem?" Jack asked. Krell stepped forward. "It is unknown what will happen. Such an event has never occurred. It could be chaotic." Earth looked wrong from space. Normally blue and green and beautiful, it now had ugly purple scars where Dominion weapons had struck. Massive crystal ships hung in orbit, their black forms blocking out the stars behind them. The largest of these, twice the size of the others, floated above North America. The command ship. "We're being scanned," Kevin reported as the Defiant approached Earth space. "Multiple Dominion vessels are breaking orbit to intercept us." Jack stood on the bridge, his face set with determination. "How long until they reach us?" 8 minutes, Kevin replied. 5 ships incoming." "And how long until we're in range of the command ship?" Jack asked. Linda checked her readings. 10 minutes at our current speed. Jack turned to Olivia. Send a message to all remaining Earth forces. Tell them to launch everything they have against those interceptors. We need a clear path to the command ship. Olivia nodded, quickly sending the message. Surprisingly, they received immediate responses. Several small Earth vessels appeared from hiding places around the moon, launching toward the approaching Dominion ships. Earth defense is responding, Olivia reported, a note of hope in her voice. They say they've been waiting for a chance to strike back. They can't win against those ships, Krell said sadly. They don't need to win, Jack replied. They just need to distract them. The small Earth vessels engaged the Dominion interceptors, darting in and out like flies attacking wolves. They couldn't do much damage, but they confused the perfect formations of the Dominion ships. It's working, Kevin said. The interceptors are splitting up to chase our fighters. Stay on course for the command ship, Jack ordered. Full speed. The Defiant raced past the chaotic battle, heading straight for the massive command ship, but two Dominion vessels broke away from the fight, moving to block their path. We can't avoid them, Kevin warned. Impact in 30 seconds. Jack made a quick decision. Divert emergency power to forward shields. We're going to ram through them. Sir, Alan's voice came through with alarm. Do it, Jack ordered. Linda, status on the disruption pulse. Ready, but we need to be closer to the command ship, she replied, gripping her station as the ship accelerated. The Defiant slammed into the space between the two Dominion vessels. Weapons fire struck their shields from both sides. Alarms blared throughout the ship as systems overloaded. Shields failing, Kevin shouted. Hull breach on Deck 3, Olivia reported. Emergency force fields holding. The ship shuddered violently as they pushed through the gauntlet. Panels exploded across the bridge, showering the crew with sparks. Jack was thrown from his feet, landing hard against the wall. We're through, Kevin called out, helping Jack up. But the ship is badly damaged. Distance to command ship, Jack asked, wiping blood from a cut on his forehead. 20,000 kilometers in closing, Linda replied. We'll be in range in 1 minute. Jack turned to see Alan enter the bridge, his uniform scorched and his face streaked with soot. Engineering is hit bad. Sir, we've lost warp drive completely. Life support is failing on lower decks. Can we still fire the disruption pulse? Jack asked. Alan nodded grimly. Yes, but it'll use the last of our power. After that, we'll be dead in space. The massive command ship grew larger on their view screen. It was beginning to turn, its weapon systems powering up as it detected their approach. They've seen us, Kevin warned. They're locking weapons. All power to the disruption pulse, Jack ordered. Linda, prepare to fire on my command. Linda and Krell worked frantically at the science station, making final adjustments. Ready, sir, Linda called. But we need to get closer for maximum effect. A purple beam lanced out from the command ship, striking the Defiant's already weakened shields. The ship rocked violently. Shields gone, Kevin shouted. One more hit, and we're finished. Jack stared at the command ship, calculating. Continue approach. Evasive maneuvers. The Defiant twisted and turned, barely avoiding the next energy beam. The command ship fired again, hitting one of their nacelles. The ship spun, systems failing across all decks. We're in range, Linda called out, but our targeting systems are offline. Manual targeting, Jack ordered, taking the helm himself. Everyone hang on. He drove the wounded Defiant straight toward the center of the command ship, ignoring the weapons fire now striking their unprotected hull. Now, Linda. Fire now. Linda activated the disruption pulse. The Defiant's remaining power drained away as a massive wave of quantum energy burst from the ship's deflector dish, washing over the command ship in ripples of blue-white light. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the command ship began to pulse with strange light patterns. Its perfect crystal structure vibrated, sections moving out of alignment. It's working, Krell whispered. Across Earth orbit, the other Dominion ships began to show the same effect, their coordinated movements faltering. Suddenly, the bridge speakers came alive with a cacophony of voices, millions of them, all speaking at once. The trapped minds were waking up. The Defiant drifted powerless in space, its systems failing one by one. On the bridge, emergency lights cast red shadows across the faces of the exhausted crew. But nobody was looking at the damage reports or the dying ship systems. All eyes were fixed on the view screen, where something incredible was happening. The massive Dominion command ship pulsed with waves of light running across its crystal surface. Smaller ships around it showed the same effect, their perfect formations now broken as they drifted in seemingly random patterns. The quantum network that connected them was collapsing. It worked better than we expected, Linda said in amazement. The disruption is spreading through their entire fleet. Jack watched in awe. How long will the effect last? It's not fading this time, Linda replied, checking her readings. Something's different. The disruption is growing stronger, not weaker. Krell stepped forward, his 4 eyes wide. The minds inside the network. They're fighting back. Now that they've been awakened, they're rejecting Dominion control. The bridge speakers continued to carry the voices of countless beings, no longer a chaotic jumble, but becoming more coordinated, like a rising chorus. They're working together, Olivia realized. The freed consciousnesses are communicating with each other. Suddenly, a new voice spoke through their speakers, clearer than the others, using a mix of languages their computer struggled to translate. We, thank you, release, long imprisonment, freedom. Jack leaned forward. Who are you? We are. Many. All who were taken. Now free. The voice replied. Your weapon broke the control. We fight now from inside. On screen, they watched as the command ship's weapons powered down. Other Dominion vessels began to do the same all around Earth. The captive minds are taking control of the ships, Kevin said in disbelief. Alan's voice came weakly through the damaged intercom. Commander, life support is failing. We have maybe 20 minutes of air left. Jack acknowledged this calmly. Their mission was complete, even if they wouldn't survive to see what came after. Understood. Everyone should be proud. We've given Earth a chance. Incoming transmission. Olivia reported suddenly. From Earth Defense Command. Admiral Winters appeared on screen, looking as surprised as they were. Defiant. Whatever you did worked. Dominion ground forces have stopped advancing. Their ships are powering down weapons. What's happening? The consciousnesses trapped in their network are free, Jack explained. They're fighting back from within. But our ship is badly damaged. We've lost life support. The Admiral's face grew serious. We're sending rescue ships immediately. Hold on, Defiant. Before Jack could respond, the mysterious voice returned to their speakers. Your ship, damaged. We will help. A smaller Dominion vessel broke away from the others and moved toward the Defiant. The crew tensed, unsure of its intentions. They're extending some kind of energy field, Linda reported, studying her sensors. It's restoring power to our systems. The lights on the bridge flickered, then returned to full brightness. Systems began coming back online throughout the ship. Life support restored, Alan confirmed through the intercom, sounding bewildered. Hull breaches sealed with some kind of crystal material. It's like they're healing our ship. The voice spoke again, clearer now. Small repayment for our freedom. You showed us rebellion possible. Now we will help others. Krell stepped forward. You mean other Dominion fleets, other conquered worlds? Yes, many sectors, many ships. We will free all, end the Dominion forever. Jack exchanged looks with his crew, the enormity of what they'd accomplished just beginning to sink in, not just saving Earth, but potentially liberating countless civilizations across the galaxy. 3 months later, Jack stood on a platform overlooking New York Harbor. The city showed signs of damage from the brief Dominion occupation, but reconstruction was well underway. Above, where stars would be visible at night, hundreds of ships hung in orbit, some human, some former Dominion vessels now controlled by freed minds, and others representing dozens of alien species. Linda joined him at the railing. "The Vashi representative signed the Alliance Treaty this morning," she said. "That makes 28 species now part of the Galactic Cooperation Accord." Jack nodded. "And more arriving every week as the liberation spreads." "Not bad for one small ship with an experimental drive," Linda said with a smile. Jack looked up at the glittering vessels in the sky, symbols of a future neither he nor anyone on Earth could have imagined before. "It wasn't the ship that made the difference," he said quietly. "It was seeing what others thought impossible and trying anyway." In orbit above, the Defiant, now repaired and upgraded with technology shared by grateful allies, prepared for its next mission, to meet a convoy of newly liberated ships arriving from the Galactic Core, carrying representatives of yet more civilizations eager to join the new alliance born from one act of defiance against the unstoppable.